Welcome to this week's LPT Live. This week, what I'm going to be talking about is the importance of an accountability partner within personal growth. So I wanted to cover this because this is something that I found was transformational. When I look back at my journey of personal growth, I think about the main things that had such a big impact on me, and having an accountability partner was definitely one of those things. It definitely helped me to really transform, and I'll go into obviously the reasons why I found this so powerful. But you know, when we're on this personal growth journey, it can be quite difficult on our own. You know, even if you're pretty motivated, even if you're pretty disciplined, then a lot of the time, you know, without having that sort of reference point of someone else who is growing on their journey, sometimes it can be quite difficult for us. And you know, we can struggle. It can be, our growth can be sporadic at best. You know, it's a bit up and down. Oh, I did that for a while and then I didn't do it, and then I did it again and then I didn't. Whereas if you've got someone that you're speaking to on a regular basis who's also growing as well, then you have a level of accountability. And you know, it doesn't mean you have to be pushing all the time, but you just have a reference point. It just facilitates growth more. And you know, when we are in those periods of lacking motivation or discipline or not sticking to our habits, then you know, again, we can have that conversation with someone that, you know, because they're going to be going through the same things as well, because we are human, and you know, things happen, different things come along in life, or we start to wane in certain habits and stuff like that. So you know, it's having that good reference point, you know, and it's really important if you really want to see results. It's one of those things that is like I mentioned, with having a like-minded circle of friends who are growth centric. Again, it's part of that, having someone that you can speak to on a regular basis, and not just necessarily for accountability, but also for the things that are happening in life. If they are in personal growth, then they're going to have a good understanding of that, or probably better than if they weren't. So let's talk about the information that we don't know, because I've spoken about this before, where you know, having the right information that facilitates our growth in the quickest way possible, in the easiest way possible, and you know, cutting out a lot of the noise and just cutting to the information, you know, that's going to have the biggest difference. And having someone that you know within personal growth as an accountability partner, then they are going to be coming across things, they're going to be learning, they're going to be coming across things that you might not, even if you're actively learning and growing, that you might not. So again, it's going to have a reference point. They're going to be able to say, have you tried this? Have you seen this? Have you watched this? Have you done this training? Have you seen this course? Have you been on this event? Etc., etc. So you know, there's going to be a good reference point for, you know, for your growth moving forward. But you know, a lot of the time we might lack that level of discipline, but you know, having that accountability partner there is going to be something that's going to hold us a bit more accountable to sticking to our goals. But you know, one thing I want to mention is that, and this fits in with more of a wider view of having people around you that are growth centric, is you almost want to you want to be around people who are almost further ahead of you. You almost want to, I heard a business person say this, where they were sort of, you know, being part of masterminds, etc. And they said, you want to be the dumbest person in the room, effectively. And the reason they said this is because if everyone else is, you know, a higher level of development, or in his sense, he was talking about business, then it's gonna guide you to raise your standards to their level. You know, it's not about people come down to where you are. It's about raising your standards. If you want the same results, the same sort of levels of fulfillment, happiness, and understanding of emotional development and all the other areas that we discussed within personal development, then you have to raise your standards to the level of those people who are experiencing you know, that level of personal development. So we basically want to do what they do, you know, model what they do, and obviously being around people who are doing those things is gonna facilitate that. It's gonna open up our level of belief of what is possible, what we can do, what we can achieve, because we have a reference point. And it's much different to when you see someone like myself on the internet. When you're meeting people in person or you're speaking to them, you get them to know them on a deeper level. Your level of belief just it just explodes, and you really have an understanding of what is really possible within your personal development. So that's hugely powerful. But it leads me on to, we can start making more powerful decisions when we understand this stuff, when we understand other people, what they're doing. And really, our decisions are what dictate the quality of our life, because in stark reality, like where you are now is made up of your past decisions. So it always comes back to what I talk about thinking about your level of thinking, where it is now, and then you can use that as a projection into the future. Obviously we need to have an element of change and development if we want to improve that. So having people around you, again, we have a reference point of where they are on their journey of personal development, and it might be different to yours. That's fine, because we're all on our different journeys. But again, having that reference point, it gives you more of an understanding of how well you're doing, or if you're we all know that if there's certain areas we should be improving, and certain areas we're sort of let slide, etc. So again, it gives us a reference point to what is really possible. So